and we should be live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time today. Wow, amazing. So kicking off at 7 o'clock, and it is now 1:45, so going to start at 7, folks. So if you're watching an archive version, please, you can fast forward about 15 minutes, unless you like really funky music, then terrific. Hang around and don't bother fast forwarding. Right, cool, excellent. Good Lord. Funky. Here we go. Oh, blimey. Yeah. You know, I want to apologize for this piece of music. Nearly over. Oh, it's over. Thank God for that. Blimey. Is this going to be any better? Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Psychedelic, man! Whoa! Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, that's better. Roll out for the dodgems. Yeah, yeah. Roll out for the dodgems. Yeah. Nice. Hold on, is that it? Oh, blimey, what's going on there? Can't play that. Oh, for crying out loud. Can't play that. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's the bloody theme tune. That's at the wrong time. Yeah. Had to have this again. I know it's bloody awful. Wakes you up. Couple of minutes, folks. Go get a cup of tea. Lopey. Oh, you. Mute your mic, darling.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, darling. How are you?
Yeah,
Been a while.
Yeah. I'll see you in about 30 secs. All right. Oh, blimey. DJ Ginger Nad, says Kerry. Bloody cheap. Hold on. Oh, that's enough of that crap. Blimey, truth. Blimey. Here we go. Better. Hold on. I can hear your fax. Who's got a fax in the background? Blimey. Hey, folks. Oh. Good evening, all. This is the Daily Chaos. Auto ab ruddy KO. Actually, you know what? The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. I can hear that Predator Jeff in the background. Yeah, so we're taking your calls on Discord tonight. gov.ly/rant. I'm Olly Connelly. Thanks for turning up. Any excuse for a rant, basically, and we'll see you in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to bung us a beer, please, big cheers. Support the show, please. That's using paypal.me/Brexit. Kind of need to change that now. I should change it to Brino. Yeah, /Brino. That's what we're getting. Oh. You can share the show. I don't know how, depending on your platform, for crying out loud. Please share the damn thing. Like the post, like the page itself for news and show updates. Let folks know that we're talking, we're watching, we're thinking, we're out.
Don't forget to click the bell button. Click the bell.
I changed the intro slightly. Hey, Lope, oh. Right. I thought this was more what was going on. Yeah. Right. Yeah, okay. So we had to have a chicken, didn't we? Lope, how are you, darling? I hope you're feeling well, because I know you had an operation yesterday. You doing all right?
On Monday. Yesterday I was recovering. I'm doing all right. My arm is still a little buggered. But I tell you, if you're not on my Facebook, you wouldn't know. But let's say surgery, comments on their surgeon's doctor's hat, that they wear. Not only does the surgeon stitch them up and get them all nice and everything, but gives you their surgeon's hat and gives you kick-ass drugs.
Cool. Excellent. Blimey. No, I'm pleased to hear that it went well, Lopi. I'm pleased to hear that you're okay. Good. If you're watching on the video thing, you can see. Actually, you can even see on Facebook too. Whoa, I put it up there. I've got the comments really organized now, yeah? I've got the comments really, really organized now. So we got them on Facebook. That's the thing that's scrolling there. And there seem to be a lot more comments in there than are there on YouTube. So you'll have to catch up on YouTube, folks. I've got so many problems with Facebook at the moment. I got to tell you, the Daily Brexit page, which is hosting Daily Chaos, pending, I'm trying to get a name change with the page. They reckon that Daily Chaos isn't apt. Facebook said it might be misleading to say that this program shouldn't be called Daily Chaos. I mean, Jesus Christ, they didn't know the show, do they? Anyway, so yeah, in the meantime, I don't know whether they're going to change the name or what, but they keep unpublishing the page. In the last day or so, 4 times I have found the page unpublished, just by chance really, or somebody letting me know. And people have said, what's going on with that? Anyway, so I keep changing it back to published, and they keep unpublishing it again or whatever. They're not even highlighting the reviews on the show now. I seem to have had 66 reviews or something just go out the window. According to them, I haven't got any. So it's all a bit frustrating, I have to say, on Facebook. My reach as a result of these kind of problems has fallen through the floor. I put out posts now, and I've got 3,500 followers on the page. Thanks to everybody out there who's been sharing this thing. Thank you. 3,500 followers. The reach for the average post at the moment is about a dozen. About a dozen people are seeing the average post. I'm seeing in the stats. Or at least that's what Facebook's telling me. I'll tell you, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So this thing, this duct tape thing that folks like Raheem and Tommy have been involved in, it's happening all over. It's happening here too. We are being shut up. There's no question about it. So anyway, Chris Rumble says, shared to all 3 friends. Thank you very much indeed. And he doesn't like the music. Right, fine. I'm staying here, Ollie, in case I lose you, says Helen. Okay, look, the bottom line with this is I'm going to have to start, using a different platform. Facebook is so unreliable anyway. Plus, I don't like supporting it. I am investigating, thanks to PJ, who's here. No, he's not. Thanks to PJ, I'm investigating Steam It with this thing called D Live, which is supposed to be, it looks like a good option. I'm waiting to see what happens with Infinity SN. And for now, I'm streaming on YouTube. So I don't know how long I can rely on Facebook at all now, if there's any point even. On the other hand, I know that the Daily Chaos group on there is brilliant. And thank you so much for all the suggestions for video clips and stuff like that. Maybe I'll put 1 or 2 of them on later. I want to start playing some of the clips that you guys put on there. And thank you for the guest suggestions and so on and so forth. So anyway, and yeah, right. Okay. Hey, Predator Jeff, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you about.
Hi, Ollie. How are you doing, mate? I was just thinking about what you were saying, actually. Yeah, you can't be Daily Chaos, don't you? Because you're too organised and methodical and systematic.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't work. No chaos. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I did actually ask them to change the name again. When they said Daily Chaos, they wouldn't do. I actually realized that somebody has got the name Daily Chaos already. A housewife. And she's probably just got kids. And it probably is very apt. And it probably is not misleading. And so fair play. So I've reapplied for Daily Chaos Show on Facebook. So I don't know whether they'll say that's still misleading. I don't know. It's an absolute joke. It's a joke. Go on.
Go for Daily Catastrophe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Looking at your page earlier, you posted about Facebook wanting to control what they're posting as far as
that's right.
Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron? Facebook trying to go and be what's real and what's not real when they themselves are one of the most biased.
I know, it's incredible.
Medias out
You're right, Lopi. There's a story today. We might see it. Eh?
Or I dare anybody to go and say something nasty about Jews or Nazis or Israel repeatedly on their Facebook page. You see how long they keep their account.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been saying, it seems to me it's like alt-left fascism, and it is. It's there was actually a news story today, Lopi, I saw. Maybe we'll see it in the news section, I don't know, but I found it somewhere earlier, and it was Facebook now are ranking news sites, news pages on their site. So they definitely have a campaign of some kind. We know that. And whether or not we're being affected as part of that, various, Britain First was as well, wasn't it? For Britain, I think, were too. All sorts of folks are being affected by it. But yeah, they do. They're ranking now. They're ranking news organizations. And so I'm thinking, well, who ranks the rankers? Yeah? Who ranks the wankers? I mean, Anyway.
And the funny thing is, Zuckerberg isn't involved in any of that, because if you watched his trial, he doesn't.
Not his trial, his testimony, his to the committee,
No comment. I don't know.
He sat on a cushion. He sat on a cushion, didn't he? To, look taller than he is or something. I don't know. Anyway, Did you watch any of that? Did you see any of that, Lopi? Zuckerberg. That cross. Yeah.
I got. Not only did I get the impression that he was well scripted as far as being told what to say, but it was like you were looking at a robot.
He does. He looks like that Data out of Star Trek. It is true. But I think that he's more nefarious, personally. And I think it's a real pity, but what can you do? Anyway, right, let's have a look see what's going on in the world of fake stream. And I thought I'd put a bit of a backing track on this. I don't know, maybe this is dodged. Maybe I'd better get rid of that. But see what you think. So anyway, the fake stream today, independent, not so independent, whatever it is, talking about tax havens. And that's really good news, no? Criminals and corrupt tycoons hiding dirty money in British overseas territories will be identified after a climb down by ministers. Rebellion by Tory MPs. God, this backing track is bloody awful, isn't it? Hold on a sec. See if I can turn it down. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to turn the bloody thing down. Oh, dear. There you go. Bugger that. Right. Rebellion by Tory MPs forces government to backtrack and brings likes of the Cayman Islands into line with the rest of the UK. And apparently, for example, from Russia, they reckon Russians, about 60, 70 billion have gone to the Cayman Islands quite recently, for example. So there's a lot of it about. And this is off the back of the Panama Papers, isn't it? Finally, things beginning to move. Move will shine a light on politicians and celebrities who hide money and avoid tax, and doubtless some business characters as well. So yeah, good news, very good news actually. And it sounds though the government's hand has been forced on that. Guardian PM forced to crack down on dirty money. May stalls on customs decision to calm rebels, and obviously we're going to be talking about that latter story. Racist trolls target Javid. According to Metro, Daily Mirror is a kind of a sad story about a kid who gave her heart for somebody else. The Sun, Sheridan to wed Tinder toy boys. Jesus. FT, UK wrongly ordered thousands of foreign students to leave the country. And Dirty Money measure forces offshore centres to disclose company owners. That actually is a big story, is it not? Predator Jeff?
Like that, because Ollie, of course, a lot of people are confusing dirty money with tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is legal. It's perfectly legal to avoid tax. It's not legal, however, to evade tax. There's a difference. Yeah. I mean, I don't dispute that there probably is some bloody dirty money floating about out there. They stick it through... they put them in trusts and then through shell companies or something, and then into offshore tax havens like, Cayman Islands and that.
Okay, so, we'll come back to that story. I'll read a bit more about it and we'll look into it a bit more because I think it's potentially quite good news, eh? May warn Brexit deal will sink her, according to the Telegraph. Obviously, this is the really big story right now. Lopi?
Already sunk.
What do you mean?
knows
May's already sunk, or Brexit?
going to get sunk. Well, isn't she already sunk? Everybody knows what she's about.
Yeah.
Somebody should chop her up and put her in an hamburger.
Unfortunately, she is our Remain Prime Minister, Remain a PM. Higher earners far more likely to hit the bottle. Apparently, according to a Bildergraph, an ecstasy can cure PTSD within weeks, the study finds. Daily Mail, show us your steel, Mrs. May. Okay, this really is the week, isn't it? As the PM's Brexit war cabinet today debates a customs deal, critics condemn as a sellout to the EU. Show us your steel, Mrs. May. Theresa May was last night urged to ditch plans for an EU customs partnership because it could make Britain a vassal state. Well, I've heard that she's just putting it on hold for and actually just dragging things out further for Britain as a result of Amber Rudd having to quit, basically, and her losing that prop. What would you say to that, guys?
Well, a customs partnership is effectively a customs union by a different name. So, thus, not
the difference is that we would be able to carve our trade agreements with other folks, but frankly, that should be our priority now, isn't it?
I would say so. We
just carve out a trade deal with the EU as well, and that's how we sort out that Northern Ireland border. If they want to trade, we sort the border out. I don't know. I mean, is it what is so complicated? There's people on the BBC now. I was listening to that Today program on World at One yesterday, and on both of them, they had these commentators on. Again, it's all these bloody Remainers saying, what we now know is how complicated the whole process is. The only reason it's complicated is because tossers like you are making it complex instead of going with the democratic will of the British people. It's not complicated to have go out on World Trade Organization rules. That ain't complicated. And to be carving out trade deals with other folks, including the EU, if they want it. What is complicated?
Well, they're using people's sweat equity to pay off these trade deals. If we starve them with our own promissory notes, you can do that, by the way. Write your own promissory notes. You can issue them to the bank. If you look on the articles of it,
James, that's not helping us. But okay, thank you. Yeah, but
the reason it's hard and they're making a mountain out of a molehill is because it doesn't fit into their regime, their scheme of things. They're Islamifying England, all of the UK. Obviously, we see it. We've just got a new guy in office recently, haven't we? So and he's another Muslim. So
okay.
For the getting out of the EU and the fact that the EU is become the point where they are sick of it, of the influx of the Muslim, I guess not necessarily just Muslim, but the whole radicalism.
Yeah, basically people that don't share, kind of traditional European Christian values.
Well, that's part of the agenda, to get two sides.
Yeah,
and basically
divide and rule, create chaos,
agenda.
Cheap labour for people like Richard Branson. Carl Stephen, good to have you back on the show, sir. What would you like to say?
Hello, Ollie. I read something very interesting on Lynn Smith's post. It wasn't what Lynn posted, something brilliant, a big rant, and someone put that it's what the powers in be, the elite, want, because overthrow the government and change everything, make a coup or whatever you want to call it, so get rid of the tyrannous.
Yeah.
The banking system and everybody will run away. And when you go to the banks and open the door, all the elite will be run away with all the money and hide away. And that will cause anarchy. Well, the Muslims here, if they then up and rise against us, do what they want, aren't they?
Well, I mean, what they've done is they're making out. They've said, like, it's the biggest decision we're going to make in a generation and all this, right? And by that they're saying, oh, it's a complicated process and that, but it's not. It's no more complicated than how we got into the EU in the first place. And what they're doing,
it's a damn sight less complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
And this time, well, people are actually still being dishonest on both sides. They're not saying the real truth about the EU and the way we got into it.
They've been using this to get into the
we were shoehorned into it by Edward Heath.
That's right, James. That's right, James Gore there. Thanks for coming on the show, James.
Is that what they proposed for it?
The only way to get...
Whoa, hold on. Whoa. One at a time, people. One at a time. Jeff, what were you saying?
They're making it overly complicated, or to sound overly complicated.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Into the long grass.
Yes.
So they can drag it out for bloody year after year and then come up with all this transition period rubbish. It could all be done more or less instantly. I mean, yeah, it's transition with some things, but I mean, you know.
The thing is, now, what they're saying is, yes, they're using this as a way to basically, it seems to me, to wear down the average Leave voter into kind of making a compromise with the idea of, well, yeah, maybe, you know, we have got to kind of compromise and stuff because, I don't know, just wearing them down, basically. That was always gonna be the plan. It was the only plan really they could carry out, and now we're in that plan. But on the other hand, May is in a pretty tough position at the moment, because if she comes out and she says that, it is the big risk, isn't it? That is crunch time. When they say, actually, we're going to have some sort of form of customs union. They won't call it that. They'll say it's different. But the fact is that it will involve us being subjugated it somehow to EU rules and possibly migration as well. I mean, probably migration.
We don't need a union, though. Do we? Hey? We don't need the union to trade, because many countries don't have a union and still trade.
That's right, Carl. That's right, Carl Stephen. But that is the argument that it's too complicated. Oh, we can trade with the outside, but we just still have to, you know, and that will be allowed probably, but that we still have to be subject to EU, basically the loss of sovereignty. And then they will take the army and so on and so forth under PESCO. Lopi?
Have they forgotten what it was like, what we did before the EU came about?
Yeah, most people don't know.
You forget the root cause of the problem. It's called money.
There was no problem.
That's what it is. That's what they're trading with. They're trading with blood.
One at a time, James. Bless you, mate. Lopi, go on.
Of it before we had the EU, you know, trading with any other country that fancied a trade. So what I don't really understand is, why are they making it out that we must be still part of EU in order to trade with the EU? No, we don't have to be part of the EU to trade. And we don't have to be part of any group in order to trade with anyone. I mean, you don't see China trying to build up an Asian alliance or Asian Europe like equivalent of the EU. You know, they're going out and making trades on their own with different countries and doing stuff. You know, granted, the United States itself does trade. It's not necessarily stuck doing trades only with the EU or England. It's doing it with lots of countries. I mean, why is England subjugated to only being able to do this with this group of people? And if you don't, we're stuck. We're not stuck.
There is other trade, Lopi, which we trade already from outside the EU. We just pay a bit different tariffs and different regulations, which we have to abide by all the EU regulations when we're trading something outside the EU. We can actually make things cheaper at the running costs and export them at a cheaper price than them, and that's what they don't like. We'll get our manufacturing back.
Yeah, and it costs us money because we're still paying into all that, even though, you know, we're not utilizing it 100% full potential. And that's all that the England is. It's all that the UK is a freaking bank for the EU. Whenever there's a country that goes bankrupt, UK goes in and says, all right, here's a couple billion. Well, we'll starve our people. We'll screw our people. We'll let our country go to rubbish. But here's some money to save.
That's
The
the
problem-
way they want it. They want to keep people the trustees.
The people,
So they can just enslave them even more because it all comes from the birth certificate, you see.
well, look, the people with the money are not nationals. I mean, look at this. Judicial Watch today. Soros-funded group launches app to help illegal aliens avoid feds. An open borders group that has benefited from US taxpayer dollars and is funded by left-wing billionaire George Soros, who is a US national, sure, yeah, but he's actually Hungarian, isn't he? Launched a smartphone application to help illegal immigrants avoid federal authorities. Soros is also backing a campaign, as we know, to thwart Brexit and so on. These people do not have borders themselves, and they're perfectly happy to screw up the borders for everybody else as well because they get cheap labor. They get cheap labor. It's as simple as that. Same deal as TTIP. Was it TTIP? And that. Anyway, let's take a few comments and then we'll come back to this. Joe Blogs, this is the only reason the Tories have left for being voted in. And I suspect the hit from House of Lords was part of their plan to convince us that it's not them slowing the process, but instead the House of Lords, and it needs to be removed. Then we have a dictatorship under May. What a nightmare! But then, if we see the Parliament, if we see, the Commons voting in a similar way, which is quite possible, closer, but again, basically against democracy, then it's not just the House of Lords that needs reforming; it's the whole Parliament, the whole of Westminster needs reform. Does it not? Michelle Reid, I think they're just not talking what their electorate are talking. But we have to drum it into people's heads that if your MP is not voting in line with their constituents in that referendum, then they've got to be ousted. They have to be ousted. That is the pressure that has to be put upon those MPs because as soon as their pensions are at risk, then whoa. And I'll give you a good example of one is Subri. That woman, she's got a majority of 347 or something. Her constituents voted about, I think it was 57%, or it was way more for Brexit than voted for her to remain in power. Yeah. So she is a good example of where the constituents, they should be hammering on that conservative constituency office door and saying, get rid of that woman. She is not a bloody Democrat. And the people have to do that. They have to do that. We have to create more democracy in Parliament.
They have to now debate about abolishing.
Or we can just govern ourselves, Yeah,
but James, that's not going to happen, mate, is it? So we have to be proactive. And the things that we have to do, for example, rather than we have to govern ourselves, is we have to bloody well knock on that door, that Conservative Party door where Anna Subra's office is in her constituency and tell them to get rid of her. Tell them to get rid of her. People need to be out there. Yeah, we need to be out there. It's the only way. It's the only way.
If they don't get them notarized, then use trust and equity. Use their system against them.
I've seen the
can be done
for a House of Lords, and he's over 140.
Look on the Articles of Association memorandums. It says quite clearly to draw, to accept, promissory notes, A for V. It's all there. It says it there.
Accept that.
And there's a thing called UCC, and it's universal commercial law as well.
It's uniform.
It's there. You've got to find it.
James, it's uniform.
I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. Once I know where I need to be, it's game over for them, because I'm going to get them homeless people off the streets outside fucking Windsor Castle.
Don't swear, James. Please don't swear like that. Carry on.
You get passionate as well. So
yeah, I know. The
F words come out. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Once I get where I need to be, we're going to be outside, whoever wants to join, with homeless people, with pigs' heads, chucking them at the castle.
Pig's head.
She's technically a pig anyway. It's been usurped since 2001.
You don't want to launch a pig's head at David Cameron because he'll probably stick his pecker in it.
He'll catch it on his willy. Okay, so we got some.
Everyone's been. You're all born dead, lost at sea. It all comes back to that SESQV. They'll keep screwing us over until we take back our estates. You see, that's what's going on. If you don't take back what's rightfully yours, become the beneficiary. This agenda will carry on because this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
More effective, darling. Instead of throwing pigs' heads, you could use sheep and bull testicles. That's something that's not normally used in the butchers, and they have surplus of them. And it would give basically the idea that the people need to have some balls, so you can give them some extras.
You know, it's very curious. There are more people watching on YouTube than there are on Facebook by about twice as many.
There's a group called Sovereign Paralegals.
Hold on, James, hold on. And yet, there are only half as many comments on YouTube. So, come on, YouTube, catch up. Helen Lasky-Smith says the establishment think that we are thick. Well, I confess that I'm only 2% thick. Christopher Baxter did a question-answer game on here, and I had 98%, she says. You ain't thick, Helen. God bless you. 1 minute. Just going for joint, says Danny Hackworthy. Well, good. I hope you enjoy that, Danny, and that it cures your arthritis. Helen Lasky-Smith also says, yes, I'll be glad you're out here. I told Ollie about your op, and she did. Bless her. Kim Brunger, what may propose for a customs alliance would involve interference from the EU courts. Yeah, Kim, I reckon you're right. Helen Lasky-Smith also says the government made it complicated. We should have walked away and traded from behind our own borders. And Chris Ford, hey Chris, sorry to say I have no sound still nor on YouTube. Reported to Facebook for what good that will do. They are spoilers. I haven't even bothered reporting my problems to Facebook. I mean, I don't see the point. They're just, do they even have a support department? I don't think for ordinary members of the public, only for governments and stuff like that. Yeah, anyway, right. And,
another daft one. Ollie, another daft one, what they've done in Scotland now, and it's going to probably bring out in Wales and then England, is minimal prices on alcohol unit when you're buying it. So if you go to the shop, it's going to cost you about £1 for a tin of Carling instead of getting these deals where you get a crate of beer for £12. The minimal cost will be £25 plus pound.
They'll tax you to piss eventually.
The retailer's obviously making that money, not the taxman. I was just about to say, James. Bit of a difference there. But what I think they've missed out here, if they're doing it for health reasons and making sure people, if you're an alcoholic and you need to drink, and you're not going to drink in a pub, you're going to drink at home, and you even get paid off tax money for being an alcoholic because you're unfit to work. And a shop, and it's only going to cost them twice as much to buy their cheap beer. Do you not think that burglaries and crime is going to go up because these people, it'd be like having heroin and the heroin going scarce and the price going up. Crime rate will go up. But why are they testing this in Scotland like that? Why aren't they putting money into the health service to actually treat these people properly?
Because the health service is designed to kill you, not to treat you.
And 9 times out of 10, people turn to alcohol because they can't deal with the society that we live in.
Medication. You're right. Self-medication. I agree with that.
You know,
expensive booze may just wake the sheeples up, says Lauren Kane. Hey, Paul Hart. John Middleton, half them watching on YouTube, just no compliant spine reviews. Lots of laughs, he says. And he says also, I have one half filled out UCC. I don't know what that's referring to. Trustees, fiduciary of care, they are failed. That subject, John Middleton also points out. And William Davis says, please bring in MR history. Re-smog before we get rammed in the rear, good and proper. Teresa is looking a bit porky, isn't she? Yeah, okay, fine. So what else is going on? Let's have a look, see what else is going on. It's all pretty, I don't know.
May I clarify what I meant by what I just said?
Go on,
about
Lopi.
them-
Go on, please.
I'm sat here, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to be a transplant patient. I just had surgery and everything, and my statement was not true. They do care. Some care, and some doctors want to protect you and help you, but unfortunately, the majority don't. They just want to push tablets because the pharmaceutical company pays them to push their tablet.
Well, actually,
No.
that does. There's a story today about that, isn't there? There's a story today about that. In the Times, for example, cancer test failure may have cost 270 lives, Hunt admits. And there's a lot of talk now about the skeletons that are in the NHS closets for exactly the kind of reasons that you say, Lopi.
Big pharma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brush everybody with the same tar everybody with
No.
the same brush.
Sure.
But there are some.
It's
out
also
there
very
that
difficult. It's also very difficult when you've got targets and maybe you're tired. I mean, particularly if you, for example, you're a junior doctor. Helen Lasky-Smith's a nurse, and she just quit working in casualty, didn't she? And said it's so much nicer to be on surgery, on getting around and about than in casualty. It kind of makes sense, no?
From
Okay.
my understanding, from the nurses that I was in surgery, in comparison to what a regular emergency room, it is a lot more. You know what you're doing. You're not having to worry about, oh, this person just got stabbed. You're not looking at different scenarios every single time. So you've got a bit of time to know what to expect.
Hospital
Carl?
you're getting dealt with, please, Loopy.
Pardon,
Can I
Carl?
ask a-
For my
Now, hold on a sec.
transplant,
You can
I
just.
will be going-
Are we going to do the news? Look, hold on a sec. Let's keep it a bit on topic with what's going on for everybody else as well. Hunt admits women died after NHS error saw hundreds of thousands miss cancer screenings, for example. I mean, there are massive problems we have, but the bottom line is that whether it's the NHS or whatever other aspect of social welfare, I don't see how when automation kicks in and you've got millions more on the dole and you've got reduced tax revenues, how the hell is welfare, for example, the NHS going to survive anyway? Anything like in its current shape and form?
Like Steve Jenner, to keep them all debt slave, keep them all ignorant. You know what I mean? Just keep them. That's the way they want it. They want to keep you on benefits and just keep people ignorant. That's it. Keep them slaves to them. Keep them trustees to them. That's how it works. Everything operates on trust, you see.
Making the National Health Service into corporation businesses little by little.
That's
and
right.
whether they create a new part of the National Health body, it won't be a complete. They'll say it's National Health, but it's actually a
If people
corporation
knew
business.
their rights, they'd take back what's theirs. There's certain ways
Slowly
to do
making it. They're splitting it up into all different parts of corporation businesses, and that's their agenda, isn't it? Everyone
That's
can
right.
quite clearly see.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
you can
right.
check on Dun and Bradstreet as well. If UK's corporation.
Why, James? To see how much of it's been privatised, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Dun and Bradstreet, small business solutions. You can check how much.
Yeah, Dun and Bradstreet, the accountants and business solutions. Yeah, more tax.
Companies,
Cayman Islands business. Paul Hart says trying their best to privatise it, run into the ground by cheap, and designed for slow chaos. He says, yeah. Absolutely.
Even the Ministry of Justice is a corporation.
Absolutely.
It says there, trustee office. So if you get a levy and you show up to that invite to court, they'll just demand money out of you, or you get sent to the full bloody nick. You get sent down, but there's a way. Just don't turn up to court and conditionally conditionally offer to accept it under the grounds that of Article 61, or you haven't refused payment.
Ollie, what you were saying about all the mass unemployment as well, that's not going to get better. That's only going to get worse.
It's going to get way, 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 way worse with automation. It's going to make a huge difference. I mean, that's why. That's the number one counter to Merkel's plea for migration. She actually said, we need the jobs. There's 1 million more people unemployed in Germany since her migration drive. So that was a lie. That was a lie, or at least it didn't work. And we know that once we've got this artificial intelligence is coming on tap, we're for a start going to lose the entire haulage industry before you know it. Within years now, within a few years, within 10 years, my God damn it. I wonder how many industries are going to be practically entirely automated and what kind of a difference that will make. And whether we can afford the NHS even at that stage.
Well, I've heard estimates, Ollie, that by about 2030, about 50% of all jobs will be gone by 2030. That's like half of all jobs. That's how bad it's going to get.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. It makes you wonder about things like the Georgia Guidestones, frankly, as well. Whether or not, they're going to want to cull us once we are. So many of us are useless eaters, in the words of Henry Kissinger. What's our role, eh?
Exactly.
Keeps trying to say something, but everyone's over shouting him.
Sorry, who is, Carl?
Yeah, I was.
Sorry, David. Him. Hey, David.
Yeah, hey.
David
well, it was just to link the two stories, because who is the largest employer in the UK? The NHS. And once the NHS gets privatised, they're going to streamline it.
They'll want to streamline it.
Yes. Yeah. So it's been thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs lost.
They're actually already conditioning us for it as well. Do you remember how they first, when people started looking up their own ailments and complaints online, the official line was, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. It's very dangerous." Now they've gone the other way and they said, "Actually, that's fine." And they need to do that because they need to get people used to literally being attended to by robots. That's what's going to happen. No?
It's entirely.
Honestly, I could see good and bad about having like a robot, but I would still be more inclined to having a doctor. A robot assistant for the doctor, somebody that records in videos all situation. That would be a good situation as a patient perspective. But having a robot doctor, no, I wouldn't have that.
Well, echoing through your mic, Ollie.
Oh, really?
Echoing through your mic.
Oh, God, I don't know what to do about that. I can't hear any echo. Was it echoing a minute ago, Carl, or has it just started?
Echoing our voices when we speak, and I don't think you can hear that. But when Loop is talking and David was talking, it was echoing.
Everybody's echoing.
But not with anybody else.
No, everybody's echoing except you, Ollie. So
everybody is echoing except me. Okay, thanks for letting me know, guys. Right, hold on a second. Let me see what I can do about this. Hold on. Say something.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Right. What about if I do that? How does that sound? Is that better?
Better, not echoing now. Brilliant. Thank you.
No echo. Now, look, the only thing is that people might not be able to hear you. So let me know, folks. I think you can. But just in case you can't, let me know. Right. Paul Hart says, making the mass effective slave to government. And he says, Chinese point-based system, full depression chip in the hand. Everything is private. We screwed, man. William Davis, that's only if we are out, Lopi. We are still in, and the bastardos won't let us out. And Lauren Kane says, expensive booze may just wake the sheeples up. Yeah, I know, I saw that. No echo here, says Lynn. Cool. Shirley Ann White Davidson says, get Tories out, and for God's sake, don't let Labour in. For God's sake.
He's got a point, hasn't he?
Aye. Okay.
The other. That's the way it is. If you get rid of Tories, you've got to have Labour. If you get rid of Labour, you've got to have the Tories. That's how the system works. You know that you can't have anything else. There's no option C.
Okay. A bit of other news. I'm going to move on. a bit. But bit of other news. Cambridge Analytica, who is implicated with Facebook and all that. Apparently, they're shutting down. Political consulting firm at the centre of a storm around misuse of Facebook user data is shutting down. Say what, actually? And The Guardian is talking about Iran. British council employee arrested as she visits the home country. And there's big crap going on about Iran, isn't there? Okay, the Express. Javid tears into Corbyn for not denouncing hard left, calling him a coconut and an Uncle Tom. Home Secretary Sajid Javid ripped into Jeremy Corbyn in the House of Commons during a heated row over abuse he has received.
Got a new Home Secretary, isn't he?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? This anti-Semitic story about Labour, that Labour is anti-this, anti-that, anti all the rest of it. It seems to me that they just want to get rid of Corbyn before there is another general election, and to make sure that there's a Blairite in that position that then will have no hesitation on upending the referendum result. It seems to me that that's what's going on. All this anti-Semitism business, I just think it's a lot of crap. Of course there are a few anti-Semites in Labour, or God knows what else. Anti-religion, maybe. Just people that, don't have a lot of time for religion. I'd hope there would be a few of those. But not... Sure, there's going to be prejudice in every single party, no? I mean, it's just human nature.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's an agenda to get rid of Corbyn? Despite the fact, actually, that even under his leadership, this Labour government looks increasingly Ramon-artsy, no?
The thing is, if you stand up to the Israeli lobby, and you stand up to the Israeli lobby, you will be labelled an anti-Semite.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. Look at what happened to Ken Livingstone. Didn't he say, something that... I mean, you know what? I don't know the history. Do you know the history? I wasn't there. We're supposed to... You're told, if you don't believe in the history, which is we know is written by the victors, then you will go to prison. That's the deal in Germany, isn't it? If you question the Holocaust stats or something. It's ridiculous.
We're screwed either way, Ollie, because we got Savage Jammid, or whatever his bloody name is, as Home Secretary in the Tories. And if you vote Labour and you get them in, you'll have bloody Diane Abbott.
Oh, my God. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
You can't even do basic numeracy, that woman.
Oh, no. Oh, hold on a sec. Okay, no, we've got echo. Or have we got echo? Lynn Scott says no echo here. And then she says, we have echo. No. And then Michelle Reed says guest echoes. Is that
I think the echo's on Discord.
The echo's on Discord. Good. Oh, hold on.
No, it's not anymore. It's not anymore. It's fine. But before, I think the echo is only on Discord, not YouTube or Facebook. They're hearing it normal. It's just us hearing the echo between our head mics.
Lynn, we've got Lynn here. Yeah. Lynn Scott. Hi. God bless you, Lynn. Minus Barbara, her sheep, because she ate it. Did you have echo, Lynn?
There was, yeah. That's why I've come on here to tell you. Facebook has echo now.
Facebook has echo.
Still an echo.
Blimey. Hold on a sec. What a pain. So what about now? There should now be no echo, at least on Facebook and on watching the stream on wherever. YouTube.
Give us a second.
All right.
Yeah, we've got echo on Discord again here.
You've got echo there, have you? Oh,
1 second. 1, 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got echo.
You've got echo. But is there echo now? Oh, tell me now, folks. Please tell me now. Sorry, I do apologise for this. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, tell me if there's echo with these guys. Go on, Carl.
YouTube
One at
it's
a time. One at a time, though. One at a time. See who's got echo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Is there any echo
You
there?
know?
Takes a few. It takes about 8 seconds or something to before we get any
Am I
feedback.
echoing,
So-
Ollie?
I can't
No.
hear it again.
I think.
No
All fine.
echo from James.
Oh,
No
God.
echo.
Get Alexander Sangmore in here and you'll have echo, echo, echo.
Blimey. I'll tell you what.
Good guy.
He's a
Good guy,
one.
but you're right.
He's the one. He can't make it. He's Sam is supposed to be around. Sam, Jane Pearson. I don't know where she is. Hey, Lopi?
Ollie,
Lynn.
is he? Ollie,
on Facebook.
is
Oh. Hold on.
is
Okay.
Alexander on?
Sorry,
on
Lynn.
in
Lynn Scott.
detention?
Well, go on, Don.
Is he in detention?
What, Alex? Alexander?
Yeah.
No, he's. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's travelling. He's travelling. Bless him.
That's just my humour, Alex.
He is a one, isn't he?
Alex.
He is a
Ollie.
character. I know it is. I know. Royal Navy. Blimey. Okay. Yeah. Brexit sealed. Nigel Farage shares a high five with Juncker. Before. So what? Right. Okay. There's nothing else. Parliament cheers as Brexiteer Peter Bone hilariously calls Theresa May the Brexit Queen. So what? Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is okay. Let's hear a bit of IDS. Yeah. Here's a story. Brexit. Oh, what's that? Unelected lords are attacking you. IDS implores Britons to hear appalling comments. Let's see what he says. IDS, yes.
That this could lead to some sort of constitutional crisis.
I think members of Parliament will look at this from two separate perspectives. The first is that they know very well that this is actually about stopping Brexit. And on that basis, I think both Labour and Conservative MPs will make a decision that you have to deliver on the public vote. That means this cannot stand. The second thing is that actually this is the Lords that have just told us what to do. In the elected chamber, an unelected body is now telling us, which are very unrepresentative, by the way, how we should run our affairs. And I would like to think that the House of Commons would say to the Lords, honestly, physician, heal thyself. You are unelected, you are unrepresentative, and you do not have the right to tell the elected chamber how they should conduct their affairs. By all means, amend things to make them better, but this is an outright change to the whole referendum purpose. You're telling the British people and the elected body, no, we don't agree with the outcome.
Do you think it could reignite demands for
Yeah.
reform of the House of Lords?
I'm absolutely in favour of reform to the House of Lords because if this alone tells you many of them are using this to refight the whole Brexit referendum issue. And many of them have said some quite arrogant things about the British public. You know, they'd have to be driven back into this, that they really aren't intelligent enough to make this decision. It's really quite appalling to listen to some of those speeches. I wish the public knew more what was being said.
Half of those bastards are loping around asleep on the benches, aren't they? Because they can't even sustain it. Unbelievable. He's right, isn't he? He's right. I wonder if he would be taking this tone had he actually still been Tory leader. He doesn't sound very Bilderberg here, does he?
I'll tell you what, Ollie, I seen that petition about the House of Lords, and 140,000 people have voted for it.
I did. I voted. There's a petition now to abolish the House of Lords, and so within a week it's picked. It's actually about 3 months old, but in the course of the last week, it's grown by about 100,000, something like that. No.
Well, once it goes over 100,000, they have to debate it in the House of Commons.
Yeah,
in
that's right.
They can't get out of that. But I know what they'll probably do. They'll probably filibuster and waste time, and then it gets thrown out.
If anybody's got a link to that poll, please put it in the comments and everybody share it. Yeah, that petition to abolish the House of Lords.
It's over 140,000 at the moment. I know it's over 140,000.
It's absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Was I language, Ollie? Axiom Curb Community says lots of laughs. It's IDS. After all, I'll let you off. Okay. Well, I was rude about him. Yeah, probably. And no echo now, says Chris. Thank you, Chris. Danny Hackworthy, it's sick. Needs to go. And now, Joe Blogs, House of Lords is nothing more than a taxpayer's luxury care home for the elderly has-beens. Shirley Ann White Davidson It says they are all Ramonas. Then Helen Lasky Smith says, a new name for your show, Ollie, Express and Echo. Yeah. Okay. So having a quick look at Breitbart, and see what they say on, hopefully, the MEP for Hofstadt singles out Hungary for criticism as Bloc announces 1.25 trillion budget will stop cash to members who do not share values. So this is the latest little bit of tyranny that they're throwing in there. Is they're saying to people like Hungary and Poland who don't toe the line. Poland's done very well in the last budget. They got tens and tens, I think about 50 billion or something in the last year or so from basically the British. But they're going to have their allotment cut. Anybody that basically doesn't step in line with this, humanitarian EU. Just before you guys chip in on this, the European Commission has announced the political bloc's latest budget, an increase. Do they realise they're losing a member? An increase to 1.25 James, hold on, trillion euros, and has included a new clause to deny access to funds for states judged to be not respecting the rule of law.
You know why they take it out on Hungary, don't you? It's Viktor Orban. He's not taking the influx of migrants that daft nations like England are.
Yeah, and he's got it in for Soros, and he's told Soros to bugger off. And for example, Soros' University of Propaganda in Hungary has moved. It's moved now, basically because of that Viktor Orban. Good on you, man. Good on you. Good on you.
Poland's another one that's not taking lots of immigrants, so they'll probably start targeting Poland next as well.
You see the top. Go on.
Poland,
James, go.
I thought Poland were anti-immigration, like.
Yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying. They're not taking lots of immigrants. Hungary's not taking lots of immigrants. They got the right idea, I'll tell you.
What I was referring before, Ollie, a lot of these banks, central banks, write checks on themselves and extend the credit. So that's how the agenda keeps going, because as long as they can keep us in debt, they can control the people.
Why is it? Yeah, no, sure. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's what they do, isn't it? They play with the economy to largely to control it.
I promise to pay the bear, or they write a check on themselves. Yeah, filter it through to the government, loan it on the guilds. This is how the trusts work as well. Right, they filter it through to the government, and then they chart it back to the Bank of England, right? And the tax, the government get it back from the taxpayers. So
can anybody?
And even better, James, when the actual banking system nearly crashed, was it 10, 12 years ago? I mean, it's paid out with taxpayers' money. Well, our banking system, America and Europe, is a Ponzi scheme, isn't it? Everything's only worth 10% of what you've got. It's all on the loan. So it's bankrupt anyway. It's bankrupt anyway. And we're bailing it out with taxpayers' money.
The Bank of England released a quality bulletin saying this as well. They say banks extend credit by writing a check on itself. That's it. So when the pundits on the telly yakking away, all the Bank of England did was write a few checks on itself. And it's absolutely mad. They keep this. It's all fair. It's all fair. You've got rights. You just got to know who you are before you take them rights back.
Dave Wolf. Oh, he's gone. Okay, look, Hive Mind is coming up in about 4 minutes' time, about 3 minutes' time, something like that. Just before we go, a few more comments from you guys. Joe blogs, the EU/IMF, International Monetary Fund, is funded by the Federal Reserve. So in the end, they can print as much paper as they want because they control the value, just like the dollar and the pound. The euro, like all of them, is worthless and has no backing. Stuart Firth says the House of Lords votes to guarantee no checks and controls at the Irish border in a fresh defeat for Theresa May. So that's just happened. Thank you, Stuart. And Andre Gillette very kindly has posted the link for the petition to give the electorate a referendum on the abolition of the House of Lords. And unfortunately, I cannot post that link, which I've tried to do, into YouTube. So you've got it on Facebook. Please sign that. I'm gonna find it now. Oh god, where's the link? Save link. Hold on a sec. Oh Jesus, I want to save the link. I want to just put it in here so that you can see it. And please find it on Facebook. Yeah. So there you go. That's it there. Yeah. That's the address. I can't. Oh no, on YouTube. It's YouTube that I can't put it. Let me try again. Oh, it did. It went. Good. Excellent. Oh, thank God for that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong one too. Oh, blimey. Hold on. Oh, for crying out loud. Is it working? Yeah. I want to say a big cheers for everybody that called in tonight. God bless you. Thank you. And for joining in the comments as well. And yeah.
The Simon talk.
Hey, James.
Right,
Simon
your flowers
talk.
for the bees.
Oh, God blimey. Simon Dawson. Simon Dawson's here. Simon didn't talk at all. Simon, how are you, man? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow at 7, yeah? Tomorrow at 7. Thank you, Carl Stephen, James Gore, Lopi, God bless you, Lynn Scott, and Brenda Jeff. Yes, thank you, James. Thank you. Oh, yeah. This has been the Daily Chaos. I am Olly Connelly. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. It's actually week daily, 7 o'clock. No thanks to Facebook. And I'll let you know as soon as I'm on Steam it, and then I'll probably just bin Facebook. I don't know, I could be arsed with it anymore. Oh, quite funky this, isn't it? So thank you very much indeed. Thank you everybody for getting involved tonight. And I will time this outro better for including comments in it or something. If you like the show, please share it. Let folks know, yeah.
Flowers for the bees.
Hey, Lopi.
Don't forget to plant flowers for the bees. Gotta love our bees.
Plant flowers for the bees. Plant flowers for the bees.
Joe's actually good with Simon's actually quite good because he done a video on YouTube.
Did he?
Right, yeah. He done a video signing a credit slip for the water
James.
for like 50 quid, and he just sent it back.
I think tomorrow you should sing for us during the outro, James.
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Get yourselves away from this tyrannical government. Stop using sweat equity, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
just
Shop local, all that. Shop local.
The more people do this en masse, the
And
more
keep talking.
the government,
Keep talking.
mind control artist will step down, because if you starve them of their energy, it's game over.
That's right. James, God bless you. Thank you. Simon Dawson, will you come on tomorrow? Tell us what you had in your mind. Anyway, Hive Mind now. Hive Mind with Dave Wolf and Glenn Rocky Teal. So that's gov.ly/hive. You want to check that out? Otherwise, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, blimey. Oh.
We've got 650 of them in Parliament. 3/4 of them are Muslim.
That's for Lopi, folks. God bless you.